Let's make assessment more than a four-letter word in your classroom. Stop in the middle of your lesson, swap into your teaching, a valuing of feedback so scholars grow up to chase more than just the dollars. No need to get bothered or hot under the collar, but be self-starters who work a lot harder. No need to be martyrs, develop that great ardor if you just give them the feedback to go farther. And every day while kids are getting carried and ferried away by your teaching, assessment will be a constant. Inside them, all your feedback will grow into a monster, a behemoth of encouragement calls them to be smarter.
Don't you love it when two worlds collide? I've been thinking a lot about assessment since the course started. Perhaps you have as well. And I've also been listening to the Hamilton cast recording on repeat. So you couple that with a grading binge session and an intense need to take a break from that grading session, and this is what you get: an ill-advised video of your professor rapping about assessment to the tune of the Hamilton introduction. Sorry about that. By the way, the lyrics are still up for grabs, so if you have any ideas, let me know. Anyway, this is Lesson 3, the Lesson 3 introduction. And Lesson 3 is a bit different than the previous two. Some things are absent. Namely, there is no discussion board for this lesson, and there isn't a video response either. This lesson serves as the first in which you are creating some practice assessments, 2 of them to be specific. Week 1 of this lesson, therefore, has you doing some work to prep for those practice assessments by reading 2 chapters from our textbook and then watching some video. In week 1, you're also going to create a draft of both practice assessments, and then you're going to send those off to a partner for feedback. All of the instructions and prompts and rubrics are in Blackboard, as is a document with the partner pairings, okay? In week 2, feedback between partners is going to be exchanged, and then you're going to take that feedback and submit a final version of your practice assessments to their associated Dropbox by the end of the lesson. All of this, by the way, is also in the calendar, okay? So with that said, just a few notes about the assessments you're going to be creating. First, to be clear, it's expected that all of the assessments you turn in for this course are created by you, since you're the one taking the class. You can use bits and pieces of existing assessments as long as you give proper credit. But the hope is that you're reflecting on what you're learning and then creating new assessments that follow the guidelines in our course texts and from the videos you watch. It's hopefully something also that you're going to use. That would be really ideal. Now, those of you who teach younger kids will likely not use, for example, an essay assessment with your students, or perhaps that might be pretty limited. So you also might be tempted to say, hey, what's the value in creating one of these since I'm not going to use it? My response is as follows. You might someday teach a different grade, right? So it's valuable to know how to do this. Also, understanding what your students will encounter in the future is necessary as you help them prepare for the future. I really believe that. So it's still beneficial to practice creating all these types of assessments, even if you're not sure that you're going to create them or use them, in the future. That means you should feel free to tailor your assessment to a different grade than you currently teach if it doesn't work for the grade in which you teach. Also, each question on a given assessment should be about the same standard or set of standards or objectives, right? So since you're creating 2 assessments in this lesson, each assessment could be about a different topic, but all the questions within that assessment should be about the same topic. It also is possible, though, that each assessment is reflective of the same topic. I hope that makes sense. That's entirely up to you. Anyway, that's the overview for Lesson 3. If you'll excuse me now, I have some lyrics to continue to write. So, let's see. I wonder if I can work in the phrase 4 minutes.